afternoon and welcome to Miller Park, all of you. I am extremely honored to be here today to MC this little get-together and a great happening. Not only what has taken place here at Miller Park, but what is going to take place here in a very short period of time. Today we will unveil the largest permanent tribute to workers in the state of Wisconsin. I've had the pleasure of watching this ballpark built and have met and talked with many of the people who scampered around this place over the last 4 or 5 years and really enjoyed meeting and being with a lot of the people who did the work here. I saw firsthand the commitment and dedication of the men and women of Wisconsin to build this great landmark. And as I said a moment ago, I can tell you firsthand, experience-wise, this ballpark is the finest ballpark in America. I say that sincerely. Before we begin our program today, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize our elected officials who are here with us today. City of Milwaukee Alderman James Bowl Jr. is here, and I'll ask you to hold your applause until I finish with our list. Milwaukee County Supervisors Thomas Bailey, Leanne Launstein, Linda Ryan, Joe Davis, who is a member of the Steamfitters Local 601, John Weishen Jr., Waukesha County Supervisor Sandra Wolf, Washington County Supervisors David Martin, Karen McNelly, Fritz Gierock, Racine County Supervisors Joseph Belante Jr. and Raymond DeHaan, State Senators Brian Burke, Mary Lazich, State Representatives Peter Bach, John Lehman, Mickey Lehman, Jeffrey Stone, and Scott Walker. Attorney General James Doyle is here with us today. Miss Sandy Rush Walton is here on behalf of Congressman Thomas Barrett. Also with us today, municipal judges Louis Butler and Vince Bobbitt. Now, a nice hand for all of those here today. I am pleased now to introduce Wendy Seelig-Prieb, the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club. It was Wendy's commitment to excellence, along with her dad, Bud Seelig, who is now the Commissioner of Baseball, both on and off the field, that helped create this magnificent ballpark. Wendy Seelig-Prieb.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you to everybody who has come to share this special celebration today. It took vision, hard work, perseverance, and a total team effort to build County Stadium some 50 years ago. Those same attributes were required to build Miller Park. We are here today to celebrate the dedication and commitment to excellence that has enabled Miller Park to become a stunning landmark for our community, and one that is bringing tremendous pride and joy to this community on a daily basis. On behalf of the Milwaukee Brewers, I am proud to share in the celebration of the achievements of the more than 5,000 men and women who have worked together for more than 4.5 years to build the best ballpark in America. From this day forward, where we stand today will be known as the Workers' Walkway. The Workers' Walkway will encompass 2 permanent memorials, which will comprise, as Bob said, the largest tribute to workers in Wisconsin. The Workers' Walkway will be a permanent reminder of the hard work and dedication of the workers who made Miller Park a reality. It is a tribute to workers all over the state of Wisconsin. As fans enter our world-class ballpark, they will always be reminded of the men and women who worked the 2 million construction hours necessary to build this park. There were many challenges along the way to completing Miller Park. Through commitment by the working men and women of our state, millions of fans are able to enjoy this state-of-the-art ballpark. Through commitment from the Southeastern Wisconsin Professional Baseball Park District and the Habish and Rotier Charitable Foundation, Miller Park will house 2 important monuments dedicated to the hard work, spirit, and perseverance of these workers. It is a great privilege to recognize the workers whose dedication has been and will continue to be a great inspiration to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Now I would like to introduce a good friend who is the Secretary-Treasurer of the Teamsters Local 200 and Construction Chairman for the Southeast Wisconsin Professional Baseball Park District. His tireless efforts to complete this project helped make Miller Park a reality. And I remember my first time with Frank up in the upper reaches of Miller Park when I was taken on a tour that only the workers know about. And to spend time up there and see what it took to accomplish the feats that they did. I call those people high wire people. That's what they were. They were unbelievable to watch what they did. And not only, I remember talking with Frank when we were up there, and I said, it looks like a lady working over there. And he said, it is a lady. I said, Jesus, this is unbelievable. Not that they can't do the work, but I mean, to watch them move around up there with grace and agility was totally unbelievable to me. I mean that sincerely. And Frank, I know you remember that day when we took that ride, and it was totally amazing what transpired and took place. Anyway, a good friend and a guy who is in love with what we have here today, Frank Buzalaki.
Thank you, Bob. Before I get started here, I would like to introduce a couple other members of the Stadium District Board in addition to the Chairman, Bob Trunzo. We have our Vice Chairman, Mickey Lehman, Fritz Gierock, Jack McKeithen, and John Knutson. They're around here someplace. And all the District Board members who have been such a instrumental part of building this ballpark. This is a special day for the many men and women who worked on this project, and I want each of them to know I share in their pride today. As many of you know, I've had the honor of serving as the Construction Committee Chairman for the Stadium Board during the building of Miller Park. I'm also the Secretary-Treasurer of Teamsters Local 200. I've been around working people all my life. My father was a Teamster. I know the amount of hard work and skill that went into building this ballpark that you see before us. Some said it couldn't be done, and it's true, it was not easy. But for all of you who gave your talents here, Miller Park represents perseverance, dedication, and above all, teamwork. You braved the sweltering heat of summer and the cold winds of winter. You reached inside to find strength in the face of adversity following a terrible tragedy, and help unite everyone in the community with your spirit in seeing this ballpark through to completion. The Workers' Wall is a fitting tribute to every worker who put his or her handprint on Miller Park. Imagine bringing your children here in the years to come and showing them your name among the more than 5,000 names that will be on the Workers' Wall. To the public, we hope we have served you well in building this community, the finest ballpark in this entire country. We are your friends and neighbors. We are the working men and women of Wisconsin, and we are the people who built Miller Park. Some of those people who will help us unveil today are Jerry Whitner of the Electricians, Local 494. Mike Brown, Carpenters, 344. Tom Benvenuto, Teamsters. Jack Kangas, Ironworkers, Local 8. John Schmidt, Laborers, Local 113. Mike Lagaki, Plumbers, Local 75. And Steam Fitters, Local 601. And I don't know who's here from 601, but I know somebody is. Oh, here he is. Okay, I'm sorry. I'd now like to ask the chairman of the Southeast Wisconsin Professional Baseball Park District, Bob Trunzel, who without its leadership, this ballpark would not have been built, to say a few words before we unveil the Workers' Wall. Bob has been a good friend to me, not only to me, but all the workers who built Miller Park. And we're glad that Bob is here today. Bob Trunzel.
Thank you, Frank. When the residents of Southeast Wisconsin entrusted our stadium board to build Miller Park, we knew that above everything, the ballpark would be about people. People will travel here to see it, spend time inside watching the baseball team, and looking up at that magnificent retractable roof gracefully above their heads right here in Milwaukee. We also knew it would take people with a true vision to mold and build one of the best ballparks in all of baseball. On behalf of the stadium board, the residents of southeastern Wisconsin, the entire state of Wisconsin, and baseball fans everywhere, we say thank you. Thank you for a job well done and the pride you put into your work. The inspiration you showed to the community is a tribute to each and every one of you. Your names now join others on the Workers' Wall, honoring one of the most unique and diverse workforces ever assembled for a construction project in Wisconsin. Our hearts still go out to the families of the men who died here doing what they loved, and those men are also honored on this wall. Today's dedication of the Workers' Wall ensures that the determination and commitment of the thousands of Miller Park workers will not be forgotten. Many baseball teams will play in Miller Park in the years to come, but it's the team of workers that built this ballpark that will always have a special place in the hearts of this community. At this time, I'd like to ask Frank Busalaki, Mike Duckett behind me, the Executive Director of the Stadium District Board, and the workers gathering here to help in unveiling the Workers' Wall. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank and Mike. Magnificent. It really is. Beautiful. I got to tell you something here just for a second. When we were talking about coming out here to do the unveiling, I asked Mike Busick, who is around here someplace. I said, "What do I have to?" He said, "Well, wear a sport coat and, you know." Then I look at Trunzo. I'm saying, Jesus. And a bad set of wheels on that guy, too. Man. Anyway, I would now like to introduce a man who is a national leader in his field and a proven advocate for working men and women. He also is a man who cares deeply about this community. He will be joined by Dan Rotier, Brent Emmons, and the family of Jeffrey Wisher, William DeGrave, and Jerome Starr. I want to bring up Robert Havish to the stand.
First, I'd like to let Mr. Euchre know that his trip to the heavens on that fated day is part of the court record, going up to the Court of Appeals. And after the ceremony is over, I'll tell you in what context. First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here. I particularly want to thank all you adults for bringing your children and grandchildren, and hoping that it's something and a day that they will long remember. I want to thank some people before I share some comments and thoughts with you. I want to thank Bob Trunzo and Mike Duckett, Frank Buslaki, and all the board of the Baseball Park District for allowing us to work together, the district and our charitable foundation, to put this monuments together. They were thinking about doing something independently of us. Our firm was thinking of doing something, and when we talked to each other, we decided, hell, the best way to go with this is to make it a joint project, and the results of which you'll see at the end of the program today. So thank you, fellas, and we all very much appreciate it. I want to thank Wendy Seelig-Prieb also, Wendy, for giving the Brewers' blessing to our project and naming this wonderful area Workers' Way. So thank you, Wendy. I want to thank this small young guy named Brent Emmons, business manager of Iron Workers Local 8, for the wonderful aid and help he gave the grieving families after the accident, and for the help that he gave me and my firm. Thank you, Brent. I want to thank this good-looking red-headed guy behind me, who is the CEO of our law firm, Dan Rotier, and all the members of the law firm who so enthusiastically supported our financial commitment to this project. So thank you, all the lawyers at HH&R. Mrs. Wisher, Trish, Mrs. Starr, Romana, Mrs. DeGrave, Marge, I want to thank you for allowing me to get involved in your lives in a way that has touched me so deeply. And I want to thank you all for the opportunity for all of us to, in a very clear and unmistakable message, tell the world that worker safety cannot be compromised. The man on the end, I'd like to thank, certainly, he's the sculptor, the artist. His name is Omri Amrani, internationally famed artist. Some of his better-known works are Michael Jordan's statue at the United Center in Chicago, Harry Carey at Wrigley Field, and at Tiger Stadium, all the Hall of Fame athletes are his work. And he in his studio took our ideas, shared his ideas, and you'll see his magnificent work of art in just a very few moments. Omri, thank you. And all you Miller Park workers who are here, thank you too for your dedication, your sacrifice, and you'll know, and your children and your children's children will know, that your sacrifice and your effort will be permanently embodied, not only in this beautiful stadium behind us, behind you, but also in the monuments which have been dedicated here today. So, the question has been asked, why all this wonderful dedication and show of appreciation here in Milwaukee? After all, countless buildings and stadiums and edifices have been built everywhere. Workers have been killed on the job before. So what's so special here that investment of time, money, and thought went into this project? One only has to look around the country and you'll see statues and walls dedicated to presidents, to soldiers, to generals, and of course here to athletes. But I don't think you're going to be able to find anywhere, not just in Wisconsin, monuments dedicated to the men and women who have built our communities, who have built our cities and our towns, as we have here in Milwaukee. My view is that Miller Park was born out of controversy. And after the dust settled, the community had a significant emotional investment in this stadium and a lot of pride. The men and women who worked here knew they were working on something special, and they also took a lot of pride in their work. When Big Blue went down, there was a widespread community shock, anger, and sadness, especially due to the deaths of 3 men who left wives and children behind. The terrible grief experienced by these families was shared in some measure by fellow workers who knew these men and by countless others who didn't know them at all. When the resurrection of the stadium occurred, like the proverbial phoenix arising from the ashes, this pride and feeling of pride came back, and hope was restored. And so there was a wonderful and justifiable celebration when Miller Park opened. And yet, there was a lingering sadness, kind of a bittersweet feeling, because of the ultimate sacrifice that had been made. And so, I think the board and us, we feel justified that here in Milwaukee, it was only natural, under all these circumstances, to have a permanent reminder and a monument to all the Miller Park workers who survived and the unfortunate 3 who didn't. The statues, which you're about to see, are not a replica of the 3 men who died. Rather, they are a replica of 3 workers at Miller Park and represent all the workers at Miller Park. But the statue is dedicated to all the workers and appreciation for their efforts, but especially in memory to Jeff Wisher, Bill DeGrave, and Jerry Starr. And I ask you just for a moment before we unveil the statue, if you say a silent prayer for those 3 men and their families and for all who have survived them in the hope for a brighter future, please. Thank you. Now I'd like now to invite Dan Rotier, Brent Emmons representing the widows, and Omri Amrani, the artist, and any assistance that they can get in unveiling the monument. And those of you in the back there, you're not going to be able to see the top, so why don't you move around the sides or come forward, because you can't see from the back of the tent while you're standing. gentlemen, teamwork. Thank you again.
Thank you, Bob, and to all of you who would like to get a closer look at the wall, you are invited to come up and wander around and take a look. And again, to all of those who were here and who participated in this magnificent new place. For me, the one thing that I've enjoyed more than anything is that place over there, County Stadium, is gone. It was the last evidence that I ever played baseball here in Milwaukee. Thank you very much. Anyway, enjoy yourself here today. Thank you all for coming, and enjoy the game tonight if you're sticking around, and enjoy this wonderful piece of work. Thank you very much, everybody.
I'd like to remind people, for those of you who have invitations to the tailgate party, please, buses will also transport guests to the tailgate party to the stadium before the game. Thank you.
There.
You find yourself?
Really? There you are. How you doing, big guy? Good. Forget you? Oh, yeah.
Jeff, they even let you on there?
Okay, where's
No,
Jeff's
no.
name?
My name's right there, top of the list.
Daddy,
There you go. Put my finger right there. Take a picture.
You did it?
Not yet.
Okay, hurry up, hurry up. Got it.
Hunter? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. How did that happen? Everybody's name is on it. Is your name on it? Oh, yeah, right. Every time you come up here, you're going to be showing that name on. They're going to look for a name on Get a bus? Yes, it does. Nice job. Thanks. Nice job.
Are you staying for the game? Are you staying, well, I know that. Are you staying for the game?
Oh, yeah, my two brothers. Robin here.